Hello, brothers and sisters. Thank you for always coming back to watch our videos. You are our strength, because if you're not here, we won't be here, and it moves us every day. So let us look at Algeria. This is the toxic neighbor. You know, that neighbor who, if something happens, they want to keep on ruining what you are. You know, that is Algeria for the years. And what has Algeria done? So there's this commotion that is going on between Niger and Algeria, and the reason is because of Nigerian immigrants who normally go to the countries that are in the north, the Maghreb, to look for better pastures. And we saw Mali in January when there was that meeting of the unaligned state in Uganda. We saw them reporting Mali, and the military rulers announced the cancellation of 2015 peace deal that was signed between them and the separatist rebels, and Algeria was then the chief mediator. So the decision came after months of fighting in the country, with the military accusing Algeria of increasing interference in Mali's internal affairs. Algeria had previously led efforts to restore peace in Mali following the signing of the Algiers Accord between Bamako and Tuareg armed groups. Tensions escalated last December when Mali summoned the Algerian ambassador of alleged talks with Tuareg separatists without involving the Malian government. And it was alleged that some of these separatists were the terrorists, and they had taken refuge in Algeria. And you remember that was the time that they had taken back Kidal. And it's like these guys were not happy. They were jealous of it because Mali is doing things, and they never wanted this because some of the minerals coming from Mali would go through Algeria. So that was Mali, and it was something that these guys were not happy about, because there are people who say that Algeria is usually used by France and other Western countries to destabilize these places. So what has been happening in Niger border, now Niger with Algeria? So Niger is protesting against the pushbacks of its nationals to Algeria. The West African country Niger asked its neighbor Algeria to respect the dignity, physical and moral integrity of Nigerian citizens on its soil and protect their property. The Algerian ambassador to Niger, Mr. Bakeda Mehdi, received the protest of the government and the highest Nigerian authorities through the Deputy Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Niger, Mr. Omar Ibrahim Sidi. Mr. Sidi condemned the vast police raid operations and the violent nature of operating method used by the Algerian security forces. He asked Algeria to respect the dignity, physical and moral integrity of Nigerian migrants and protect their property. So what had happened is, when we have border like Niger and Algeria has a long border of almost 1,000 kilometers, you find people who are neighbors but brothers. You are my brother, but you live on the other side of the border. And you find that people will definitely move even with no passports and all that. You go live there like when you go to South Africans have been complaining about the people of Zimbabwe, but we will definitely go to Zimbabwe.
They cross the river.
They cross the river because we don't have borders. Borders is something that was placed on a map by the Western nations, but on the ground we don't have borders. Okay, like Malema says, it's like having a gate, but you don't have a fence. It's crazy. So what is happening is Niger is denouncing the violent treatment inflicted on its nationals by the Algerian security services during repatriation operations. The Algerian ambassador was summoned to express the strong protest of the Nigerian government and demand respect for dignity and physical integrity of its citizens. Algeria responded promptly, calling Niger's accusations unfounded. The Niger ambassador in Algiers is in turn summoned to discuss bilateral collaboration and repatriation. The incident highlights tense relations between Algeria and its Sahel neighbors, notably Mali and Niger. Algeria, which considers itself a central actor in the region, is often accused of interference in the internal affairs of its neighbors and of not respecting its commitment. So Algeria is that bitter neighbor who is seeing you progressing but wants to ruin it all. Now imagine it's a country, we have borders, people have moved. Do you just mistreat the people of these nations because they are there? Or is it because that Algeria feels like they are better than the Nigerians?
So it is very unfortunate, and it's such countries that when you think about open borders, when you think about these Africa free trade areas, whatever, you wonder how is it going to be ever possible if we still have neighbors who consider the other neighbor as an enemy, who doesn't want to see you prospering and progressing as a neighbor. Because these are the same people. Instead of us embracing each other, instead of these Algerians and Nigerians working together, building businesses together and improving their livelihoods together, it's fighting. And once it starts at the leadership level, where the leader is the one that has the rotten heart, let me call it that way, it's a problem because it trickles down to the citizens now. Once they realize that their leader doesn't have good relations with the other leader, what else can you tell these people? It's just hatred all through.
People start hating each other.
They start hating each other.
And you see, like, the Tuareg is one tribe across those two nations. And you remember all this, I think, stemmed from Niger doing away with a law that was placed there with the EU that was criminalizing the illicit trafficking of migrants. And we are going through Algeria, and Algeria makes some money through ensuring that people are banned from moving. And according to IOM, the main nationalities observed at the flow monitoring point are Nigerians at 75%, Nigerians 7%, Chadians 5%, and Malians 2%. But what they say is the 75% of Nigerians normally go to Algeria, not to cross to go to the EU, but they are going there to look for better economic opportunities, unlike migrants of other nationalities like Nigeria or Chad who move across to go to Europe. So Niger had suspended the controversial 2015 law that made Niger a strategic partner in the migration policy of the EU, and this was during President Mohamed Bazoum era. And you know, Algerians are not happy. So this is something that you do, but I want to keep supporting my Western leaders or masters. So I would say to Niger, to Mali, keep being strong. Do not let anybody sit on you.
And it's good that Tiani is not shaken by small things like this, and the fact that he even pulled out from the Algiers agreement, it shows that he's not fearing anything. Even if we're neighbors, if you can't have good work relations, it's just over. Let me just move on my own and see how far I can move without people who are here to sabotage me. Niger, General Tiani, once again, we salute you. Continue doing the good work that you're doing for the benefit of your people.
So guys, let us know what you think in the comment section. We see you in the next one. Bye bye.